Hello, welcome to your local weather update. It's going to be a brief weather update, but we had a very active night tonight after a warm and humid day. Not as hot as we feared, but you can see you're looking at the radar. I'm at the satellite. The cold front coming through with those thunderstorms really blowing up there, especially over New Jersey. It looks like that they really did blow up over there. We'll have to take a look and see what Jersey Central Power and Light as far as power outages there. I already posted earlier the PSEG. We had over 15,000 at one time, but now it's down to like less than 5,000 power outages. But yeah, quite the storms that came through. Let's go look at the radar right now, and we'll show you what happened. You'll see this was 7:30-ish, and I was at Rockville Center at the time. I was at the Morgan Days Park looking at the storms. And I'll show you the picture that I took here. Oh, really? You're not gonna display it for me? That's lovely. It's supposed to display the thumbnails, but it doesn't want me to do that. Okay, so well, anyway, we'll have to go through this way because my computer is not playing ball today. But this is what the sky looked like earlier. So we just had some blue sky, some cirrus up there, and then as the day went on, you could see the anvil cirrus starting to come in. All right, this was around 7 o'clock or so, and this was around 7 o'clock. There was the cumulonimbus, the anvil in the distance. Oh, there we go. Now it's displaying. So you can see here here are the cumulus clouds coming up. Again, this is a sign of the instability coming in around 7 o'clock. All right, so just kind of taking you up to that point there, and you can see again interesting sky here, some anvil cirrus and a whole bunch of cumulus popping up beneath it. All right, we already saw that one. So, and then this is where things get interesting. So it looked like the storm was, yes, I have a video of it, don't worry, but it looks like the storm was going to go to the north here. All right, so it looked like, I was looking at the radar, I'm like, oh, it looks like we're going to get stuck in this gap here, all right? But what happened is once we got toward 8 o'clock, the gap started filling in, and a cell just decided to pop up over Brooklyn there, and another one that looked like right around central Nassau County, all right? And then the sky got kind of interesting here, and again, that's what it looked like earlier. And then we started seeing, and again, you can see the towering clouds that we had in the sky there. There's another example of the towering clouds that were all around us there, cumulonimbus right there. And then the sky started looking like this, and it just started getting darker, and then I noticed a curtain of rain there in the distance starting to approach. That was from Morgan Days Park, all right? You can see the curtain of rain right here. Right, so and then the sky just got more and more dark. There was blue sky in the background, but right overhead we had these very dark clouds. And like I said, I have a video of it, and it really just got. And I went to the top of the train station. I took this photo of the dark clouds overhead, and all of a sudden, all this rain and the sun shining through the rain, which is pretty interesting. All right, so here we are at this point. All right, so it takes us to around 8 o'clock. And then the storms just blew up right over us. And we got the severe thunderstorm warnings that were put up. And, I was looking at the storm, so, I didn't have time to post them right away. But you could see. And then another cell popped up over central Suffolk there. And these storms just exploded over Long Island. And Suffolk County got hit pretty hard, too. And this line pretty much held together all the way out. Yep, pretty much held up together all the way out past Montauk. So, very interesting turn of events tonight, and I don't know if there are any storm reports from these storms. You know what? I'll go over them tomorrow, but what we can do is look at some more of the pictures I took, and yes, I have a video of it, but I mean, this is the storm. It just looked like a wall of water coming in. It was so crazy. That's the storm right there. It was so cool to look at, and then after the storm was done, the rain was starting to taper off, and we had this really interesting looking sky. But there was still some lightning around. There wasn't that much lightning with the storm when it hit. But once it got sort of moved away from us, we started getting lightning on the back side. And there were just a couple of strikes, and some of them were really close. Again, so some of the bolts were coming out of this part of the cloud right here. There were a couple of bolts. I didn't get all of them. And then you see this is what it looked like once the storm was done. So it has cooled off tonight. So the Central Park's got 78. Let's take a look and see what we got in our area. And so 75 degrees at Farmingdale, 73 at Islip. Dew point's still high, but the dew points will be coming down Of course, while everybody's enjoying some mid-70s, it's still around 80 here in the alley. 77 to be exact. Almost 78, but you can see it's cooled off. And let's take a look and see what the day was like at Farmingdale. Look at Farmingdale, Islip, and Shirley here with the weather. So we can see when these storms came through. You can see the wind gusts that came through that these storms were accompanied by. You can see they dropped the temperature really quick. It went from the upper 80s down to the 70s very quick. Now on the South Shore it was a little cooler, but see inland it was pretty hot today, upper 80s, and it stayed warm because there really wasn't much of a sea breeze, especially toward the end of the day. It really kind of stayed warm. Let's see, Islip 73, dew point 72. So there's when the storm came through. Look at that, 40 mile an hour wind gust there at Islip, heavy rain and squalls. Yes, so that's pretty impressive right there. And it went from the low 80s down to, Islip was a little cooler, down to the 70s. So that was quite a storm there that hit. And there was some pretty strong wind gusts. Let's now look at Shirley, Brookhaven Airport. And we'll go ahead here and look at this, and you'll see here. They were generally in the low, so the further east you were, it wasn't quite as hot. There was a southwest wind, but it was hot. And look at that. 41 mile an hour wind gust there with the storm there at Shirley. So, some pretty strong winds with these storms that came through. And really incredible. So let's go look and see what happened in New Jersey. 75, I'm sure it was much hotter there. Lakehurst, let's see what they got up to. Yeah, they got up to 90. She hit 90 at 6 o'clock. And the thunderstorm there, it says thunder shower. I don't see any big wind gusts or anything like that. Did hit 94 there. So let's put the highs on the map here. And you'll see the highs. High temperature. Let's get the high temperature on the map here. Waiting for it to load. Of course, always takes. There we go. So 86 at Shirley, 86 at West Hampton, 88 at Islip, 90 at Farmingdale, 91 at LaGuardia, and New Jersey got into the mid-90s, 93 there. So, pretty warm, and, of course, it didn't really cool off very much at night as well. Only 70s. We'll look at the precipitation. Past 6 hours we'll just do here from the storms. So across Long Island, not a whole lot of rain with these storms. But the south where I was, looked like it was raining for quite a bit. 0.66 there in Lynbrook. So, we got almost three quarters of an inch there in Rockville Center. It was a pretty heavy downpour, but no flooding. Unlike Mineola, they have better drainage than we have. Let's look at New Jersey. Not a whole lot over there either. 0.58 there at Long Branch, I should say. So let's go to today's statistics here. Islip 87 for a high. That's 7 degrees above normal today at Islip. So this is going to be a pretty warm July. We'll talk about that in a couple of days when the month is over. 89 for high at Central Park. So it didn't quite hit 90, but still 5 degrees above normal there. So let's go to the map here, and we'll just put the observations up here and just show you. In fact, we'll just show you the dew points here and show you the drier air that's going to be working in. You see dew points dropping to around 60 already in eastern Pennsylvania. So that's the drier air that we're going to have tomorrow. This high builds in, and I'm just going to go over tomorrow's weather, and we'll have a very nice day for tomorrow. We'll go to the HRRR. So here's the HRRR, and we're done with the storms tonight. Fair weather tomorrow, no storms, a nice day, and we'll have much more comfortable weather, as you see. So the winds shift to the north tonight. Those dew points are going to drop into the 50s tomorrow. A lot more comfortable with northwest winds, and it's going to be a lot nicer. High temperatures tonight will probably drop to the 60s, probably mid-60s, probably not much lower than that. And then for tomorrow, we'll have a much, much cooler day with highs only in the upper 70s to around 80, according to the HRRR. Let's go to the skies. I'll just use the RGEM for that. And so we go to the skies for tomorrow. Maybe a few clouds in the morning, but I think it should be a mostly sunny day for tomorrow. Nice day. And then there's not going to be any smoke either. So let me just lastly look at see if we have any storm reports from the Weather Service before I wrap this weather update up. Storm reports. Let's see. Gotta find the storm reports here. Local storm report. Let's see if we have some storm reports. All right, here we do. Yes, we do. All right, so a lot of this is up in Connecticut. Thunderstorm wind damage. But there was a 65-mile-an-hour wind gust in Glen Cove. Wow. With that storm. That's impressive. 65-mile-an-hour wind gust. Setauket had a wind damage. Large limb and wires down on the intersection of Oldfield Road and Conscious Bay area in Setauket. 41-mile-an-hour wind gust in Belle Terre. New Haven got a 45-mile-an-hour wind gust. 60-mile-an-hour wind gust at Stony Brook. Wow, that's impressive. Thunderstorm wind damage in Middle Island, multiple trees down. Thunderstorm wind damage in Manaville, multiple trees down. 43-mile-an-hour wind gust in East Mauritius. Thunderstorm wind damage in Wainscott. 44-mile-an-hour wind gust at JFK. Wow, that's impressive. 46 at Wainscott. 46 at Orient. 46-mile-an-hour wind gust at Orient. Multiple trees down in Amagansett as well. Multiple trees down around town in Montauk as well. Thunderstorm wind damage in Tompkinsville. That's Staten Island, I believe. 56-mile-an-hour wind gust at Mamaroneck. 53-mile-an-hour wind gust at Norwalk. 44-mile-an-hour wind gust in Ocean Beach. 54-mile-an-hour wind gust in Atlantic Beach. And 44-mile-an-hour wind gust in Hampton Bay. So some pretty impressive wind gusts out of this storm. You know, I just want to see, because we didn't have a shelf, but I want to see. We're going to go to the Earth Cam here and see what this storm looked like in Port Jefferson, if it had a shelf or not. I don't think we actually got a shelf out of it. We're going to look at this for a moment here before I end this local weather update here. Yeah, you can see the storm coming in. Yep, that pretty much looks like what we had. The sun was coming through the... Yep, that looks exactly... But no shelf cloud. Looks like it's trying to form one over there, but no shelf cloud. So, I guess that's going to wrap up this weather update. Have a good night. Enjoy the great weather tomorrow. And I'll have a more extensive weather update for you tomorrow night. Have a good night.